Hello everyone, it's Brett Lee here. Hope you're well. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's going to be a lot of fun today. So what I thought we would do, it's not often I get the chance to class in terms of being a teacher. So I'm going to be in class now. I'm going to be the teacher for the next sort of few minutes or so, and we'll have some fun. But I thought, look, I'll give you a bit of a background story as to where it all began for me. I think back to my childhood. Had a really, really lucky and loving childhood growing up. There's a photo of me as a youngster. Hopefully I haven't changed too much. At the age of 9, I said to my mum and dad, they asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up and be an adult. What did I want to do for a job? And I said, well, I want to play cricket for Australia. So to me, it was about wanting to wear the baggy green cap and wanting to have that opportunity to bowl 160 Ks. So I was really lucky, I guess, to achieve both those goals and both those dreams. But it was almost like having an older brother, Shane, and a younger brother, Grant, were very, very competitive in the backyard. And we, as millions of kids around the world, we had our heroes in the backyard. One day I was Capel Dev, and then I was Alan Border, and then I was Alan Donald, and I'd be Viv Richards. So you have all these different types of people that you aspire to. I guess the underlying message here is, I had a dream. The dream was to achieve playing for my country. Being a young kid, enjoyed going to school. I grew up on the South Coast. So anyone that has had the chance to has gone to our wonderful country, Australia. I was born south of Sydney in New South Wales, a place called Mount Warrigal. And if you fly into Sydney and you travel 2 hours down the South Coast, down the freeway, you get to a place called Mount Warrigal, which was a beautiful place to grow up. As I mentioned, a very loving, happy childhood with 2 amazing parents and 2 amazing brothers, and we played a lot of backyard cricket. I still remember the day as a youngster when we asked Mum and Dad, because the backyard kept getting wet with the rain in winter and the grass wouldn't grow, and we couldn't play cricket because it was too slippery. So I convinced my father to pave the backyard, to put down bricks on the backyard, so that became a bit like the whacker, and that's where I think I learned how to bowl fast. I had all these people I looked up to as a young kid, and certainly enjoyed playing backyard cricket. Look, it's hard when you get through those levels. I was starting to make a few teams. I was starting to sort of impress a few people at the right time, at the right stages. But as a 17-year-old kid, I toured India for the first time. 1994 it was. Most of you guys and girls probably weren't even born then. Maybe you were, maybe you won't. But it was the time for me where I really enjoyed going on my first overseas trip to your beautiful country, India, and just fell in love with the place. And that was a bit of a balancing act for me, because I was still doing my HSC. I was doing my Year 12 studies. My parents had asked me to take my textbooks over to India, which I did. Imagine being on a tour as a 17-year-old kid, under 19s for Australia. So everyone's 2 years older than me, and they're all out sort of enjoying themselves, enjoying the nightlife, and I'm trying to be a young kid with my studies. There wasn't a lot of study done, sorry, Mum and Dad, but it was a lot of fun, and I certainly grew up very, very quickly in that environment. It was also making the right goals and what my aspirations were. So making sure that I had one eye on the sort of importance of study, the importance of having a job as well. And I actually worked full-time, even whilst I was playing for Australia. So from the age of 17 or 18, I worked at a menswear store. And to this day, I still got ties with that menswear store and that boss, Richard Bowman, who gave me my first job. Only last week, I was back in the menswear store and, working on some new things that we're designing. I actually built and designed a jacket for Elton John, the singer, which was a lot of fun. So that was done last week. So this has been an association with me. And I think the reason I'm telling this story is because I think it's important that, yes, you had your dream, and yes, my dream was to play for Australia, and not putting all your eggs in one basket, but also to not having 3 or 4 different things you can fall back on. To me, it was like the best thing for me to become a good sportsman was to have a distraction. The distraction for me was to have, another job, a full-time job where I can take my mind off cricket and not focus on playing cricket for a while and work 6 or 7 hours a day and then go to cricket training. And as soon as I started working in the menswear store, that's obviously when my cricket started to improve. But I used to have to drive to Sydney every single day. I'd be up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'd drive 2 hours to Sydney. I'd work for 6 or 7 hours. I'd then go to training for 3 hours, and I'd drive back home. And I'd reach back at my family house around about 11 p.m. at night. And Mum would have dinner for me waiting when I got home. I'd get up in the morning at 5 a.m. and do it all again. I did that for years. So, people just think it happens overnight that you get the chance to play for your country, but it certainly takes a lot of hard work. Sorry, just having some tanda pani. Look, the chance to finally get that call up when they told me that I'll be wearing the baggy green cap for the first time, that was so much fun. I was so proud to be chosen the test team first against India, Boxing Day test, 1999. And then a few months later to be told I was in the one-day team. You can see that slide there with the yellows. That was a lot of fun. You're thinking about firstly wearing the baggy green cap. Very, very enjoyable. I achieved that dream. I achieved that goal. I'm playing against guys like, think of VVS Lakshman, you think of Sehwag, Sourav Ganguly, rather. You think of the great Sachin Tendulkar. These guys that I looked up to. And I played a lot of cricket against VVS Lakshman in the under-19s tour back in 1994. So we became good mates. But to think I'm bowling against Sachin Tendulkar in a test match in Melbourne, Boxing Day 1999, it doesn't get much better than that. That was a dream come true. And then it just became that, really enjoy the cricket, the hard work starts, all the dedication that had happened to get to that point. And look, it wasn't all smooth sailing either. When I was 16, I broke my lower back. My family doctor was an Indian doctor, and he scanned my back and realised that I'd broken my lower back. So he gave me his counsel and his advice and said, look, I think that you might try a different sport because you won't be able to run in and bowl fast again because you have a broken back. And I said, thank you, sir. I appreciate your knowledge and your counsel, but I will bowl fast again and I will play for Australia. And when I do, I'll get you a ticket to my first test match, which I did. I got him a ticket. And sure enough, it was against India. So he was very, very happy. I guess moving forward, and you have to have that self-belief. You have to believe in yourself as a person, as an athlete, as a parent, as a friend. But to me, the belief in cricket came from a number of things. Getting the chance to play with, under the guidance of the great Steve Waugh. To me, he was a real good leader, a great manager, a person that he always put his team first. And I've played under different captains, and the reason why I think Steve Waugh was the best captain I played under was because if I was having a bad day and I wasn't playing the best cricket that I possibly could, and if he had to drop me, he would never tell in the press first. He'd always come to me first and say, listen, you're not going to play next game because of this, you're not bowling well. And as an athlete, when you're not bowling well, you actually understand that you're not playing the best that you possibly can. But to hear it from your captain, to be honest with you too, and just to say, listen, at the moment, you're not good enough to be in this team, but I know that if you do this, you get back in the team as soon as you're ready. And then he would go and tell the press. Whereas other times you actually find out by reading the paper that you've been dropped. So that never happened under Steve Waugh. He was and still is a magnificent person. And even now when I still see him, I still call him Skip because he's always been my captain and always will be a captain and the person that I look up to in life. I sort of guess his belief in me gave me that chance to fulfill my dreams. He used me differently as a bowler to most other captains. He gave me that green light. He gave me that option is to say run in and bowl fast. And there may have been a number of occasions where he just explained to me, well, you've got 4 overs. I don't care how many runs that you go for. You run in and bowl as fast as you can for 4 overs. If you pick up 1 wicket for 30 runs, you've done your job and we'll all be happy. And that often happened because he believed in me. And it's funny that when someone actually believes in you and takes the time to know you as a person, they get much more out of you. Mentioned a couple of injuries I've had, like the back injury first, which was really, really bad at the age of 16 or 17. I was in a back brace for about 16 weeks. I then started doing athletics at school because I always loved to sprint. I was a 100-meter sprinter. My mum was actually a 100-meter sprinter. She was a very good sprinter, went to the Australian titles. I love javelin. I love to throw balls, and I still remember javelin. It's very similar to throwing a cricket ball. I'm not sure if you can see there, but I've got a nice big scar through my elbow there where I went to throw a cricket ball in Tasmania when I was about 17 and completely snapped my arm in half. That was after the Indian series that I came back from. So the bone was snapped in half. I got misdiagnosed. I got told by the doctor in Tasmania that I've sprained my ligament. I had it in a sling for about 2 weeks, and then started to play cricket again. And it was hurting for about 12 months. I kept saying to Mum, during winter it was aching, it was killing. I said to Mum, it's really hurting. So I went and had it scanned again, and they got told that they'd made a mistake and they'd missed the actual complete separation through the bone. So then I broke it again playing for Australia at the age of 23, and that's when I had a nice big pin put through my elbow. You probably can't see, but there's a lump of my elbow there where I've got a nice big titanium pin put to join the bones back together. Then you go to my ankles, 6 ankle operations later, but hey, I feel 100%. So I've, it's a taxing toll on the body, but that's what you get when you bowl quick. And to bowl at 160 Ks, you have to put your body on the line every single time. Look, I think my advice to a lot of you boys and girls out there, and young adults, and getting into your 20s and stuff, and I'm sure you've all got dreams and goals and aspirations. And to me, it's very hard when you speak to young kids. You go to schools and you see kids who are 9, 10 years of age. And I think back to when I was 9 and 10 and I had that dream. And you hear kids in the streets saying, I want to play for India, or young boys and girls back at home, I want to play for Australia. And you know that the chance of playing for Australia is like winning the lottery, 1 in 25 million. If you're a keeper or if you're a bowler, you got 3 chances out of 25 million people. I know in India, you got 1 chance out of 1.3 billion people. So it's way, way more than obviously Australia. But how do you not crush that little kid's dream? How do you say it's probably not going to happen? And the way I get around that is I actually look at things from a positive point of view. I say, I believe it can happen, and you can achieve any dream that you want if you put your mind to it. Now, if we all thought it's not going to happen and we're negative and I've always got bad luck, nothing ever goes my way, I wake up and it rains all the time, it's sad, 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 boring, boring, that type of thing. If you wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and you go, actually, today I'm going to make a difference. This is what I'm going to do today. And your goal might be there, but to get to that goal there, you need to have little goals. And you tick off your little goals every single morning. It might be getting up. I know this sounds stupid. It might be getting up and making your bed. You make your bed, you've achieved 1 goal. Great. Then your next goal is to be at work on time or be 5 minutes early. Then you've achieved that goal. Then all of a sudden you start to have these good habits. So bad habits, when you sleep in late, you eat the wrong food before you go to bed, you don't exercise, you're tired inside. All these things contribute to bad thinking and not thinking clearly. And to think clearly, you've got to be clear. Your body has to be clear. So you got to make sure you get enough sleep. And it goes back to those kids when I'm 9 and 10, and I tell them, if I can do it, you can do it. Like if you want to be the person that plays for your country, do it, because someone has to do it. There has to be 11 spots somewhere, and why not be you? So, I mean, they're little tips I give to young kids, and certainly with adults and, the audience I'm speaking to today, this afternoon here from Mumbai, is that there's still a lot of you studying that probably don't know what you want to be when you do get to my age at 43, but have little goals in place and prepare well, knowing that you back yourself, so that you put things in place like that picture on the screen now, me holding up my baggy green cap. That was, to put that on for the first time and to see how it felt, yes, it's just a cap. It's just a green cap. It's felt, but it's what it stands for. And it's the millions of hours I trained to get that opportunity to wear that baggy green cap. It's like you, when you go through school, you study, you know, you want to get to that goal of being a surgeon, or you might want to be the best person that plays sport. Whichever goal it is, commit to it 100%, and then, you know, you'll be able to improve from there. Looking at the baggy green cap, that was something that I certainly loved. And it's also another good story on how to get there. So once again, it's that dedication, it's that mindset. You will get knockers in your life, and we call them knockers back in Australia. Knockers are people that want to knock you down. People that say you can't achieve that. And I've had it my life. I'm sure the guys and girls are there have probably had that too, where someone says, you aren't good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not this. Well, that's not the case. Everyone's different. You shouldn't be put into a pigeonhole and stereotyped. And if someone's slightly different, I think that's good, because if we're all made from the same mold, it'd be boring life. So don't accept someone saying that you're not the right structure or for this, or you're not the right look for that, or you haven't got the brains. Commit to what you want to do, back yourself, and keep working harder to achieve that goal. Stay focused, I think, is a very, very important message, because there are times when, you know, you can't be positive 24 hours of the day. It's human knowledge. It happens when you sometimes, you know, you actually doubt yourself. It's that little voice on that little man on the shoulder, that little person on the shoulder, that little voice in the head that will sometimes try and bring you down. Now, it's how you deal with that. So you do have, you know, and I certainly do have times where you doubt yourself. You think, am I actually good enough to bowl against Sachin Tendulkar? Am I good enough to get Brian Lara out? But that's the negative thoughts that naturally creep in. And if you trust your training, if you trust your work that you've done, like going into an exam, there's the pressure of, what if I fail? What happens if I don't get the mark that my parents think I have to get? They want me to get 85. What if I get 80? What if I get 70? Well, what if you got 90? What if you absolutely smashed it out of the park? So don't be a negative person. Try and get rid of those negative thoughts and think positive. Now, you also can't expect to get over 85 if you haven't done the work either. You've got to do the work, and you've got to go into that exam knowing that you're going to absolutely brain it, because you've prepared the best way you possibly could. If I walked on the cricket field with no preparation, there's a huge chance that I'll fail because I haven't done the hard work. But if I walk onto the cricket field feeling fresh, feeling fit, feeling healthy, knowing I've done the hard work, the rest is easy. Now, you won't always succeed because that's sport and that's life, but a much better chance that you will because you've done the hard work. So look, that's sort of my way, I guess, I can explain on being positive, looking after yourself, getting plenty of sleep, drinking plenty of water, making sure that you're exercising. If you're ever feeling tired, exercise, because it releases a lot of those natural endorphins, and that's what keeps you going. It makes you sleep better at night too. Don't eat too late. I know the Indian culture, which I love, and I've been coming here for 25 years. Farangis, Gordas have dinner around about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock back in Sydney. I know you guys have dinner around about midnight. All the team behind me are all laughing their heads off about my Hindi. Yeah, so just eat at the right times and try and be healthy, try and look after your body, and that will give you a nice clear mind. Now, got some questions, and thank you firstly for sending in these questions. Anurag, Gua, how can I ignore distractions to stay focused on my goal? Well, thank you for your question. Distractions, I think, I'll put it down to when I'm playing cricket. Now, if I'm running into bowl and I'm under pressure, I can hear every single person in the crowd. I can hear a person yelling out, sledging me. If I'm playing against India, they're saying Sachin's going to hit you for 4 or 6. And I'm actually aware of all of these sounds coming around me, all of these distractions. The best way to do it is just to sort of focus on the job at hand. So if it's me bowling a Sachin Tendulkar, I have to try to sort of just block all that stuff out, go back to my training, go back and think, okay, what are my plans? What did I prepare for? okay, we've got, yes, the best batsman in the world ever, Sachin Tendulkar, but he's still human. How can I get Sachin out? Now, don't worry about what the crowd are doing. Don't worry about what the non-striker's doing. It's just me versus Sachin. And that's why I used to look at, so I could block out all of that. And it takes a while to get used to. Like when you're doing an exam and, you know, your parents are saying, you've got to get this mark. Your teachers are saying, you haven't done the work that you should have done. You've got all your friends saying that, I hate studying, or I hate doing that. Get rid of all those distractions. Focus on what you're doing. Remember, the big goal, take little chips out of the goal. Small little goals that will end being the big goal. So don't just try and go bang and do it in one day. Make small little inroads, and a bit like a loaf of bread. You cut your loaf of bread into many different pieces, and that's your goal, and that's how you get to that next stage. Madhav, how do I remain dedicated after failing multiple times? Failing, I should say, multiple times. How do I remain dedicated after failing multiple times? Well, when you fail, people are so scared of failing, but failing is fine, because you have to push yourself to know to where you can get to. Now, I've failed with cricket a lot of times, but it's how you then come back from failing. So success for me is being able to fail, being able to learn from it, change the way that you structure things, and then go along a lot better next time. So I'll give you an example. So me failing might be, I'm bowling to Brian Lara, and I've gone to bowl the bouncer and it's gone wide, and he's cut me for 6. Now I failed. So how do I then not fail? Well, I go, well, the best option to bowl to Brian Lara is probably not bowl short and wide. I dragged it down. I didn't commit to the ball. I was a bit hesitant. What if I get hit for 6? If I want to do that again and bowl a bouncer straight, I've got to commit to it. Now, I would rather go down for a 6, knowing that I've bowled the best possible ball that I can, rather than half bowl it, drag it down and hit the 6. So failing is fine, as long as you learn from the mistake that you made, never do it again. So that's probably the question. Edgar has a question. What keeps you motivated to be the best version of yourself? Well, I think what keeps me motivated is my family. You know, I sort of have pretty high standards in life, and I want to make sure that I'm the best person that I can be. I want to make sure I'm the best husband. I want to make sure I'm the best dad. So all these things are versions of what you create and what you believe in as a person. You know, we're going to get one crack at this life, so might as well have a decent go at it and try and be the best version of you as a person. So it's learning from the mistakes you made, you know, making sure you're kind to people, making sure that you know where you want to be in 10 years' time. So there are different types of people, different kinds of people. There are the people that know where they want to go and how to get there, and there are people that are just floating. It's almost like they've hopped on a boat and they're floating in the river. We'll see where the river takes me. I'll just float until the current stops, and I'll get off, and look, that's fine too. But you need structure in life. So you can float down the river, but know where the river ends and know what happens when you want to get out of your boat. It's probably the best way to explain it. Jenikarim, I hope I pronounced your name correct. Being handicapped, how do I gather the will to fight the rest of the world? Well, look, that's obviously a great question, and there are a lot of handicapped people out there. And the thing that I always say to people that are handicapped in whichever aspect of their life it is, be the best person you can be, achieve your dreams. And, you know, being handicapped doesn't mean you can't achieve your dream. I've got friends at home who are handicapped, and they have created and done so much more than willing, able bodies. If a person, I've got a friend there that might have achieved that, and someone that's handicapped's achieved twice as much as a person that probably had more opportunity than them. So to me, it comes down, down to your brain, down to that self-belief, changing your goals too, because, if you've been dealt, a cruel blow in life, and, you've had an accident, or you've suffered from cancer, or, you're going through these testing times, it makes you appreciate life a lot more. It makes you be more awake in the world, because you think how precious life is and how quickly it can get taken away. But yeah, it's a really good question, and I thank you for that. But just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep believing in yourself. Set some goals and challenge yourself too. One thing you don't want to do is make excuses for yourself, and that's people who are able-bodied, people who are handicapped, people who have got issues in life. There are issues, and there are a lot of people that are a lot worse off than us, and there are a lot of people that are worse off than me, of course. And I get that, I understand that, but still make goals in your life, still achieve those little goals. You know, I've got a friend at home who used to play cricket, and unfortunately he had cancer and he lost both of his legs. Now, he actually came out in a first grade cricket match and fielded literally underneath the helmet next to the batsman. And the batsman looked at him and said, like, who are you? And he goes, I might not have any legs, but I could still run you out. And he used to run on his hands, pick up the ball, and he got a run out, he ran a guy out. So that to me was inspirational, because there would have been so many people who thought that this guy is now in a wheelchair the rest of his life, and he went, nah, I don't have legs, but I can use my hands to walk. So he used his hand, he walks on his hands, he's got a skateboard, he pushes himself. And to me, that's a beautiful story, because he had that will to keep fighting in life, and has achieved he's a public speaker, has achieved so much more than a lot of people that have got two normal legs, and unfortunately they waste it. They just sit on their backside watching TV and eating fast food and don't appreciate their life. So I wish you very well. Pratap, how do I stop procrastinating? Well, look, I think by that question, you've pretty already answered your own question. You know, how do I stop? Like, to me, that's negative. Don't put things on hold all the time. Don't be that person that says, I can do that one day, or I will do that, but I won't do it today. There's a 5K run. Yeah, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'll just put it off, keep pushing things back, keep putting it off. No. Commit to it. Write yourself a list of what you want to do tomorrow before you go to bed tonight. Okay, what are my goals tomorrow? As I said, it might be making your bed. That's one goal that you did not achieve today. If you didn't achieve that goal today, you are one step better off than what you were. I have a saying, you'll never be as bad as what you were today. So tomorrow when you wake up, you will do things a bit differently. You will wake up with a clearer mind. You've had a good sleep. You wake up out of bed. You don't go, oh, I've got to go to work today. Well, yes, that's the honest truth. Or I've got to go to school today. Or I've got to go and do an appearance today. I have to go and do this. And, you know, you don't always wake up going, oh, I feel $1 million. But if you wake up and you tell your brain, here we are, I'm alive, I'm breathing, great, good start. Get up, have a coffee, whatever, make your bed, feel fresh, go to work, and walk in with a smile on your face, and people look at you and go, okay, this person's in a good mood, and it sets the whole tone for the day. How are you feeling? Top of the world, never felt better. And you might be carrying a niggle, you might be sore, or you might have a sore throat, but you don't show it, and you get through life, and you stop putting excuses in front of you. So procrastination, stop doing that, commit to it, write down your goal. If your goal is to walk 100 meters, do it tomorrow, and keep doing your best. Some more questions from Tarenga. Bowlers either focus on pace or accuracy. How did you manage to achieve both? Well, thank you. I appreciate your kind words, but it comes down to that theory. People said, you're a spin bowler, or you're a batsman, you're a fast bowler, or you're a swing bowler. And I said, because they said, you know, do you want to bowl swing or do you want to bowl fast? I said, why can't I do both? Why, if I bowl 150 Ks or 160 Ks, why can't I swing the ball? Oh, well, because people don't normally do that. Well, I don't care. That's the wrong mindset. I want to be able to do both. So I worked on the nets really hard in achieving, firstly, having the right seam. So making sure, and I call it, see those 3 bones in the back of my hand there? They're like the cricket stumps, I call them. And that has to be right behind there. So if your cricket stumps are pointing towards there, it won't work. Your cricket stumps, the 3 bones in the back of your hand, have got to face towards the batsman. That's the easiest way. So your fingers straight up. Your fingers aren't doing that. They're not doing that, or they're not doing that. Your fingers are dead straight. The seam goes down through there, and then you pull straight down. That's how you swing the ball. Now, trying to do that at 150 Ks is obviously tough, but you can do it. So it's practice. Like someone says, oh, you know, you can't get a degree in that. Well, why? Why not? I want to be that person that does that. So if someone says you can't do that, or you can't be a swing bowler or a fast bowler, do it both. It takes a lot of practice and it's hard work, which is why not a lot of people can do it, but you have to commit to that and actually try to do it. Garish Patel, did the fear of injuries ever deter you? Yes, they did, of course. So once again, it's programming your brain. Now, I look at my brain as being a computer. Now, if I feed my computer, if I put in a lot of negative things, and the way I think, the way I get up in the morning, and if it's all negative, well, then what's going to happen is what the computer spits out is a negative feel, a negative thought process, all this negativity, which will lead to failure. But it's how you train your brain. So I want to make sure that when I have got my 6th ankle operation, and people are going, so you've had 6 ankle operations, I've been out for 3 months each time, it's a lot of time away from the game. And then how do I then put my boots back on to go and bowl at first ball after I know that a surgeon has literally cut the bone away from the back of my ankle joint? How do I know that I have that confidence of putting my foot down without it hurting? Well, I had a very simple process with this, and at the top of my mark, I would think to myself, even when I haven't bowled a ball in competitive cricket for 3 months, I'm back playing international cricket, haven't played for 3 to 5 months, I would tell myself, last game I got 5 wickets. Geez, I bowled well last game. Positive thinking. It's that making sure that visualization. So before I'd bowl a ball, for a split second, I'd close my eyes like that. I'd blink, close my eyes, and I could visualize me running in the bowl. So I'm running in here, and I've got this camera behind me that I can visualize me running in the bowl. And I see the nice straight hand, beautiful wrist come through, nice follow through my action. I see the batsman go forward, get the nick, and Adam Gilchrist would dive to his right and take a spectacular catch. That was me, how I could visualize what was going to happen, which is creating positive thoughts in my mind. So if I'm thinking about my action and my wrist, but I couldn't even think about my ankle because there's too much to think about and focus on. So that's how I got through dealing with the injuries and how they didn't sort of keep me down. Bhavya, how did I stay dedicated despite the pressure of family and peers? Well, look, when you spend so much time away from home, it's hard because, I chat to my friends and they might be going to parties back when I was in my teens. They might have the chance to go on holidays and just do nothing for a week and all that. And I'm, training or back in the gym, and I'm playing cricket, or I'm trying to go through rehabilitation again. So, there are pressures, I guess, from your peers. To me, there was never pressure from my family. My family always supported me 100%. Obviously over here playing cricket, my older brother Shane is also playing for the Australian cricket team. And he's been a guy I've always looked up to. Shane's been a great mentor to me. He's been a great older brother, a great person that I can speak to at any time for some different information. So he's been a guy that I think has actually helped me. So I think my family has been a huge supporter for me. And there's times when your peers can distract you from what they're going to do, but you just got to stay focused on your job and focus on what you want to do. And that to me is how I can actually overcome that. Ravi, what were some of the sacrifices you had to make to achieve your goal? Well, I had to make a lot of sacrifices. I guess that goes back to that question before, was, when my friends were all going out to parties on Friday night, I was at home at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night, tucked up in bed, because the next morning on Saturday I had to put my whites on and go and play cricket. Now, there were times where I thought, why am I doing this? It's a long summer. I'm 18, 19 years of age. I'm not getting wickets. See, negative thoughts. Not getting wickets. My friends are all going out partying and having a great time and catching up with friends and being real social. And here I am standing on the field in the hot sun in Australia, 43 degrees. I'm not getting wickets. But then you got to realise, well, why am I doing it? Am I doing cricket because that, do I want to be rich? I never played cricket to try to play for money. Am I doing it because I love it? Yes. Am I doing it because I want to achieve a goal and have an end goal? Yes. So these two things out of three was because I loved it and because I wanted to one day play for that, Australian cricket team, have the baggy green cap. So that got me thinking about, right, keep things simple again. Get to bed early. Yes, it's going to be hot tomorrow. The forecast isn't great. The pitch is flat. How do I overcome that? Right, go at the basics. If I focus on doing this, if I hit a good length for a certain amount of time, that's going to put me in good stead. And then all of a sudden, then you start to get that confidence back. You enjoy your cricket. In your life too, there's plenty of times to have a party. Trust me, we can have a party at the right time. If you do the hard work, that cold beer definitely tastes a lot better after you've done the hard work. So you trust me with that. Ragini has got a question. How can I realise my true calling? How did you know that cricket was yours? That was my dream. I think I was put on the earth to play sport. I was destined to play cricket from the age of 9. So that was my true calling. Now, you hear people talk about the grass is always greener on the other side. And I've got a lot of friends who are musicians that play music, that their dream was to play cricket for Australia. They've achieved greatness in there. I mean, I've got friends that are in Excess, the great Australian band. You hear people that Mick Jagger that wanted to play cricket for England. That is in one of the biggest rock bands ever, the Rolling Stones. So sometimes people think the grass is always greener on the other side, but I just knew cricket was where I was destined to become. One, I was better at it than most other things. 2, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being in that team environment. So I guess also my advice to you guys and girls out there today is find something that you want to do for the rest of your life. Whether it's social work, whether it's helping people that are suffering from illness. I do a lot of work with Cochlear, which are hearing implants, so to help kids get their hearing back. That to me is a lot of fun, and you're sort of there for a good cause. Help people out in life. If your goal is to be the best IT specialist, if your goal is to be the top of your school, the dux of your class, do it, because commit to yourself, commit to what you want to do. It doesn't matter, and that's the thing too. Success isn't playing for your country. That's not success. If your dream is to play 5th grade cricket, and you got Australia, you got all these different levels down, and 5th grade cricket might be here. If that's your dream to be the best 5th grade cricketer and you achieve that goal, well, then you've achieved greatness. You've achieved your dream, and you've achieved what your talent can get you to. Now, if your dream is to be the next Modi, PM Modi, if you're going to run the country, have a go at it, because someone has to do it. And people always think, oh, I won't be able to achieve that dream, or I won't be able to achieve that goal. But you've got to put your mind to it. So don't also be focused on money. Don't be focused on success with fame. To me, that wasn't never in the picture. I did cricket because I loved it, and I would have played for free. Never tell them that now, of course, but I would have played for free. But that was because I was so passionate about it. Ashish has got a question. Ashish Pandey. Who's that one person who inspires you the most? Well, I get inspired by a lot of people. Probably my family. Mum and Dad have inspired me to be a better person. The advice that Mum and Dad always told me growing up was to respect people, to appreciate all different cultures. Everyone's the same. That's the thing. So my parents have always said, doesn't matter what eye color, hair color, skin color, where you come from, we're all the same. We're all on the same earth together. Look after your brothers and your sisters, and have fun in life. Doesn't mean you can't obviously challenge someone on the cricket field and really have a go at life and really try your best, but you have to appreciate it, and you have to appreciate people. So that's what I guess inspires me, is the way my parents have brought me up. But also my wife inspires me every day, and my kids. I love seeing my kids grow and how they get inspired by the things. I actually get inspired by what they're trying to do and achieve their dreams and goals. So that's a lot of things that can inspire me. Last question is from Shushmitha. Hopefully I've pronounced your name right. What is more important to you, talent or hard work? Well, I believe that when I first started playing cricket, I had about 80% talent and 20% hard work. Then when I played for Australia, I believe that it came down to 80% was hard work and 20% talent. So you need a combination of both. You need a combination to be talented in your chosen field, which could be anything, but the hard work is what will achieve your dream and goal. So no one, I don't think, ever has played professional sport out of pure luck. No one has ever been the CEO of a business out of pure luck. No one's ever got ducks out of the school without studying. It comes down to hard work and dedication. But you want to make that hard work fun. Now, I look at hard work and go, right, today I have to, bowl 60 balls in the cricket nets. Yeah, it'll be hard work. But when I finish doing it, it's going to be a lot of fun. I train in the morning back in Sydney, 5:15 every single morning. By 6 o'clock, I finish my training session. It's hard work. I hate getting out of bed early, but I get up and I do it. And by 6:01, when the class is finished, I feel so good, feel invigorated. I'm up before everyone else. I feel like I've got a bit of a head start on the rest of the world. So that's how I keep inspired. And talent and hard work, to me, go hand in hand. You can't have talent without hard work, and you can't have hard work without talent. So, look, it's been lovely chatting with all you guys, and I hope you've had fun and you can take a few things away from Class Lee today. Keep working hard, keep inspiring people, and most importantly, just be nice to each other. So, that's the message for me. Have fun with whatever you want to achieve in your life and whatever you want to achieve in your dreams. And, just keep smiling. I know that I love the chance to get back over to India, and hopefully I'll get the chance to meet some of you in person. But thank you so much, and hopefully we get the chance to do this again because it's been a lot of fun. I've certainly enjoyed it, and they've asked me now if I can try and sign the screen. Now, I'm not sure it's going to work, but we'll give it a go, and hopefully we'll be able to get something. Yes. Unacademy, thank you so much. Thanks to all the boys and girls and all the young men and women, all the Sundalerikis for your questions. I appreciate the guys. Good on you guys. Look after yourself. Look after the women. Look after the girls. Be kind. And we'll catch up again soon. See you soon.